What up, guys? It's your boy Flipside here. On my last video, I had really cool guy Oblivion ask me what my rates are and if I would be cool enough to share those with everybody. And I said, of course, why wouldn't I? So here we are. I'm gonna do a quick little video, just a quick breakdown of my PID profile on my excuse me, on my most flown, most loved quad, the Chameleon. Basically, the build is Chameleon frame, T-Motor F60 Pros. I have DYS 30 amp ESCs. They run D-Shot. Moto Labs flight controller. It's just an F3. It's being pushed to its limits right now on 8K. Does really well. I'm running on D-Shot 300. Box ear camera, AKK VTX. Anyway, so my rates. This is my rates. Let's see if we can plug her in here and get Betaflight fired up. Doo-doo-doo. Excuse me, just took a big ol' rip off the dab rig. 710 life. All right. So this thing, you can tell this F3 is being pushed because it takes quite a bit to log in. But here it is, guys. I wanted to make something really clear. Up in the top left corner here, you can see that the firmware I'm running is 3.17 Betaflight. Now I had this huge thing about 3.17 and the transition that Betaflight made from 3.17 to 3.2, 3.2 and beyond. I have two other quads. One is on Betaflight 3.23, and I just flashed my long range with like the most up to date. I think it's 3.5. I barely even looked over it. Basically, I have yet to find a version of Betaflight firmware other than 3.17 that flies the way that I like. I feel like with a solid PID tune, maybe a slight tweak of the filters, because granted filters can really help, but you don't need things like dynamic filter, what's the other one, anti-gravity gain. Those are nice to have, but with the right amount of eye gain, you should never have any anti-gravity problems. If you are, you have desync issues. You're probably using analog signal. It can't keep up with that type of input. Anyway, just wanted to be clear, guys. I run 3.17 Betaflight on my Chameleon build. It's really solid. I've always been a firm believer, and if it's not broken, don't fix it. So that's just my philosophy. I have other quads that are on Butterflight. I have other quads that are on a more up-to-date version of Betaflight. I still have a quad that's flying clean flight. I'm just telling you right now what I've experienced, and maybe it's particular to this build, but 3.17 is my favorite. Does exactly what I need to do, nothing more, nothing less. So, config, yeah, so just want to let you guys know I am running D-Shot 300. My ESCs are capable of D-Shot 600, but for some reason I have a slight motor twitch, and I've tried to tune it out with the motor timing and demag compensation on the BL Heli configurator. Just gets a little bit too in-depth, and I don't really want to mess with the protocols and the communication. So I found it works best on 300. I lose that little twitch in the motor, and all is well. Gyro sample 8K. I really stand by that. I know everybody's pushing this 32 kilohertz sample mode. That's great. I'm actually testing it on another quad right now. Unfortunately, the Kakute V1 that I had decided the processor wasn't good enough for life and took a shit. So testing out the 32K, I got some 32K ESCs, or I'm sorry, 32-bit ESCs on the way. They are almost on the quad. I got them pre-soldered and just got a lot of things going on. But all right, I know this is a rates thing, so just clear. Chameleon build, Betaflight 3.17, D-Shot 300, 8K. It's a quick breakdown, right to the PIDs. All right, so this is it. This is the bread and butter, guys. All right, PID profiles, rate profiles. Granted, we all know that you can't really use a PID profile on a different setup unless it's almost identical, because that's basically like the tuning of each individual car. Each car still made with the same parts, might still operate differently. So that's just specific to your build. Rates though, this is the most important thing. This is why buddy Oblivion hit me up. He wanted to know my rates. So I run a slightly lower RC rate than normal. I'm at 0.98 when stock is 1. I've dropped that down because that's our linear. Everybody knows that. Linear is across the board, no exponential curve to it. So super rate is currently at 76, which gives me the max velocity of 817. It's funny, I just actually did watched a video. Stinger Swarm just released a video, Kevin, and really he ended up sticking with a profile that was very similar to this. I do like Expo. Expo eliminates the little bits of fidgety motions, that just breathing, or the blood pumping through your thumb, or your slight twitch because you're nervous. We all have that. Even people like me who fly a lot, I still get nervous at some certain spots. So RC Expo, I run almost at 30 on roll and pitch, and it's almost about half on yaw. One thing that's different from my builds that I've seen other people's rates are yaw is usually a little bit faster than roll or pitch. I have just straight across the board, they're all the same. I do that for the purpose of knowing that when I'm mentally timing my roll snaps, I could mentally time my yaw snap just the same, because it's the same rate. What I found with a lower RC rate and a higher super rate is buttery in the middle here. If you look at the graph, a nice, let's call it linear section of butter. It's nice and horizontal. And then for me, it's the ramp up. If you go too high on your super rate, then the section right here and your ramp up is like shoom, shoots straight up. So you get butter, 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 butter. Oh shit, you're at max rate. And I don't like that. I like a little bit of transition. So I am noticing that in the sim, I'm starting to go up on my super rates. On the sim, I run, I think it's 86. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 86. Nope, that's too high. That's way too high. So you can see, though, how you get more of a ramp at raising the roll up. But so I have been messing around with this in the sim, trying to find a nice buttery, a little snappier rolls, but still keep my butter and not lose that nice smooth transitional area from full stick end to butter in the middle. Guys, I run very slight, 0.05 throttle expo. I don't even really know if that does anything. It could be the placebo effect, but I like it. It seems to work out fine, and I run about 0.20 TPA. What I find most important about tuning and rates is right here, the PID controller settings. To me, this is the most important part because it's going to change how your quad feels. D set point transition, that's fine. That's just basically when you do a flip, and so you're at center stick and you do a right roll, so you're going to snap right and come back to center. When you do that, your quad flips, and then when it senses say level out, it's going to stop that. And sometimes it'll stop them too abrupt, and you'll get like a huge bounce back after a roll. So that's what this D-set point transition is. So it's nice. I like it a little snappy, but just barely. I like it to just kind of finitely tell me, yes, I heard that, I'm level now, So that's kind of a preference based on like how powerful your motors are, what KV they are, etc. What props you're running, how hard you did the flip. So you got to play around with that based on how you fly. But what's most important to me is this D-set point weight. This basically, okay, we're going to go back to the scenario. So you're at center stick, right? And you're going to right roll. So you snap the right roll all the way to the end, and you're coming back to the center now, right? You snapped your roll, and you're coming back to the center. During that section, when you're coming back to the center, this is what controls that. This is basically a smoothing effect for that from the end back to center. And this is really important because this is going to change the way your quad feels when you're flying it. So it's something I definitely recommend experimenting with, because what I found is I do a lot of snap rolls and then finish off, level out with a smooth, let's say a 270 roll, and then smooth out with that last 90 degrees. So definitely play with that. But if you want to know what I found to be the most butter, the most ease of transition and smoothness is right here, 114 and 85. Now I can't say it's going to work for your quad either, because like I said, everybody flies different, everybody's rates are a little different, everybody holds the stick and snaps the sticks different on your transmitter, so you just kind of have to figure out what works with you. But if you want to know, my recommendation, beyond any of the rates, beyond any of the PIDs, any of that crap, is you mess with the D set point weight. That and the D set point transition, obviously, because you don't want your rolls finishing with a huge bounce back and looking all crappy. You want it to set nice and smooth. But the D set point weight, that thing will change the way your quad flies, and you will feel it in your hands when you're flying. I highly recommend playing around with that slider, finding a nice smooth spot for the way that you fly. I think it'll totally change your game, because it's changed my game tremendously. So that's basically it, guys. Nothing special on the modes. I run air mode along with my arm switch, just so I have air mode on all the time. I don't know, that's me. I'm okay with it. And a beeper. That's basically it for my quad. Nothing special, no crazy filtering or anything like that. Rates and PIDs. That's it. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope that helps out. And if you have any questions about my setup, or any questions about how to set your stuff up, let me know. I'll definitely throw them down in the comments. Let me know below. I will definitely answer them. And thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Keeps me doing this, you know. This is a video made from a request. So Oblivion, shout out to you. If you guys don't know who he is, check out his channel, Oblivion FPV. Awesome guy. Awesome pilot. And that's it, guys. If you like my stuff, throw a like, grab the subscribe. Much love. Peace out. Flipside. I tried to be patient with you.